I, Yi Chen, possess the heaven and earth creation cauldron, which can upgrade everything. The imperial body in veins that others cannot seek, if I want them, I can easily get them. Even the Immortal Emperor can only crawl in front of me. Su Aoxue, if you dare to take my bloodline, then I will be your lifelong nightmare. Chapter 1. Wild Ancestral Dragon Bloodline. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Under the night sky, a strong wind blew. A python-like lightning struck across the sky, forcefully splitting open the night. Su Aoxue, you're harming me. In the backyard of the imperial city, the boy's pupils were bloodshot, and his fair and clean face was filled with rage. His name is Yi Chen, the crown prince of the Yi family, one of the 4 major families. At the age of only 16, he has reached the 10th level of physical quenching and possesses exceptional talent. Princess Su Aoxue, also known as Qingguo Xuanbi. Previously, Su Aoxue invited Yi Chen to taste tea and discuss Taoism in the backyard. However, after taking a sip of tea, Yi Chen felt his spiritual energy dissipate all over his body. In the tea, it was actually poisoned. Yi Chen, if it weren't for your dragon bloodline, how could I, Su Aoxue, date you? In front of him, a delicate-faced girl raised her chin, extremely proud. Over the years, you have nurtured the dragon blood quite well. After merging your dragon blood, your highness will have the qualification to enter the Tianquan sect, and you, Yi Chen, will become a complete waste. A black-robed old man with a sneer on his face. He is the Grand Tutor, one of the only 2 half-step mystical realms in Qingguo. Above the 10 layers of quenching body, there is a divine realm. The divine realm is further divided into human realm, earth realm, heavenly realm, and half-step mystical realm. Your deliberate approach to me is to steal my blood. Yi Chen almost bit his teeth apart. He met Su Aoxue through an experience, and their equally outstanding talents attracted each other. Coupled with Su Aoxue's occasional expressions of admiration, the 2 naturally came together. I never expected that this would be a conspiracy. Of course, bloodline is important, but your Yi family has been in the limelight lately. If you really let yourself continue to grow, I'm afraid the Yi family will be comparable to our royal family in the future. So, how can we keep you? Su Aoxue raised a proud sneer at the corner of her mouth. The Grand Tutor clenched his palm and a surge of spiritual energy surged in the void, enveloping Yi Chen. Under the squeezing of spiritual energy, Yi Chen felt his bloodline crazily gathering in his heart. After a moment, a drop of blood containing a dragon fell into Su Aoxue's hands. Get your blood and kill this useless person. She stared intently at her veins, her eyes filled with a scorching expression. Everything else seems insignificant. Your Highness, if he dies in the backyard, we cannot explain it to the world. The Grand Tutor took the initiative to remind him, without blood, he would be a complete waste. Even if we spare his life, it's not a concern. Everything, you decide. I'm going to merge my bloodline. After speaking, Su Aoxue turned around and left, leaving only a proud figure behind. She paid no attention to the life or death of a useless person. On a night of lightning and thunder, the young man struggled out of the palace, dragging his severely injured body. One day, I will make you pay for it with blood. Yi Chen's eyes are usually red with congestion. Su Aoxue. Yi Chen let out a roar and woke up from his coma. That scene, like a nightmare, is always lingering in my mind. Yi Chen, are you awake? A young man walked over the door and threw a medicinal herb on the table. He gave Yi Chen a cold glance and said, I really don't understand. You're already a useless person. Why is the family still treating you so well? This is the only 80-year-old medicinal herb in the family, and it should be wasted on you. The words were full of resentment, causing Yi Chen to frown. This young man is called Yi Chen, with good talent, but he is constantly overwhelmed by himself. I have never dealt with my own relationship very well. And there's also Yi Meng, a fool. He went to the imperial city to argue for you, a useless person, but ended up with his legs amputated and his clan members carrying him back. Originally, our Yi family was thriving, but it was because of your ugly behavior that it was on the brink of danger. Even the princess dared to be strong and treacherous. Yi Chen, you are so cowardly. As Yi Chen spoke, he became more and more excited. Later, he stood up and roared at Yi Chen. What are you saying? A hint of anger flashed through Yi Chen's pupils. Yi Meng is the oldest among his peers, with a simple and honest personality. He takes great care of these younger brothers and sisters in his daily life. He actually had his legs amputated. Not only that, but it also charged me with raping the princess. Do you want to use this reason to deal with my Yi family? Su Aoxue, you are so ruthless. Yi Chen closed his eyes in some pain. All of this is because of oneself. The intense emotional conflict made him both angry and guilty. Yi Chen sneered, and Princess Chang, she has awakened the Dragon Sparrow mysterious body and has been accepted as a core disciple by Tianquan sect. That is Tianquan sect, the most powerful sect in this area. If anyone can enter it for cultivation, they will surely ascend to heaven. She is a towering phoenix, while you are just a waste. Dragon and Sparrow mysterious body. Is it surprising that Su Aoxue's spiritual body was upgraded to a mystical body by his own dragon bloodline? Yi Chen was taken aback, and then anger surged. Along the way of cultivation, there are countless creations, but special constitutions and blood vessels are the most rare. The levels are divided into spiritual, mystical, sacred, imperial, and imperial. And the mysterious body of the dragon bird is enough to make Su Aoxue the most eye-catching Tianjiao of the Tianquan sect. No wonder she's so calculating. Just seek death on your own, and even implicate the family. You are a thing that is not successful enough and has more than enough to fail. If I were you, what medicinal herbs would I waste? Just find a rope to hang yourself. Yi Chen roared loudly, his veins exposed. Pop. Yi Chen was furious in his heart and slapped him. Then he suddenly shouted, I am the crown prince of the Yi family. No matter what dire situation the Yi family may face, I will give everything and you don't need to teach me how to do it. What kind of skill do you have to hit me? If you have the ability, go find Su Aoxue and find Fang Luo. Yi Chen covered his face, his eyes still resentful. Yi Chen, no matter how useless, is also a crown prince. Give him a slap, he can't fight back. Fang Luo. Yi Chen gave a cold breath, feeling a sense of unease in his heart. Fang Luo, the young master of the Fang family, one of the 4 major families, and also the fiancé of his cousin Yi Ning. Fang Luo is right outside the door and is going to publicly arrest Yi Ning. Didn't you have a great relationship with her since childhood? Why don't you go out and fight against Fang Luo? Once you are dismissed, your reputation will be ruined. Yi Ning will never get married again, it's all your fault. After Yi Chen finished speaking, he gave the medicinal herb a fierce glance. Then, feeling unwilling, he walked out of the room. Puff. Yi Chen spat out a mouthful of blood as if being hit hard. Fang Luo, you are bullying people too much. The Fang family is at the bottom of the 4 major families and has been putting in a lot of effort to climb up to the Yi family. Fang Yuan, the head of the Fang family, knelt down and begged Yi Chongshan, the head of the Yi family, hoping that his son Fang Luo could marry Yi Ning. Yi Chongshan was originally unwilling, but his daughter did have some favorable feelings towards Luo, so she reluctantly agreed. This marriage was originally meant for Yi Ning to marry off. Who gave Fang Luo's face and asked him to come and divorce his wife. A group of miscellaneous people, seeing how bullied my Yi family is, all of them have come. Yi Chen was furious, with blood surging all over his body, almost boiling. The splattered blood spilled onto the jade pendant on the chest. The jade pendant trembled slightly, causing Yi Chen to be taken aback. This jade pendant, of unknown origin, has been worn around my neck since I was young. What is the current anomaly? The cauldron of heaven and earth's creation, recognizing the Lord's success. A vast voice echoed through Yi Chen's mind. Before he could react, the jade pendant turned into black light and penetrated his eyebrows. The next moment, Yi Chen opened his eyes and found himself in another world. The sky is dark and covered with dark clouds. In the void, 3 mysterious patterns are floating. The cauldron of heaven and earth's creation, seizing the creation of heaven and earth, stealing the cycle of yin and yang. It contains 3,000 principles between heaven and earth, condenses the secret patterns of creation, and can enhance the grade of all things. 2 rows of golden font, floating in the sky. Spiritual bloodline, innate sword body, and looking at the entire Qingnian realm, you are considered one of the top Tianjiao. No wonder the heaven and earth creation cauldron will recognize you as the master. A indifferent woman's voice sounded, unfortunately, my strength is too weak. Yi Chen became famous at a young age and can be considered to have a big heart. He quickly calmed down and asked, Senior, can these secret patterns of creation elevate all things? The woman said, not bad. Whether it's martial arts, elixirs, talismans, magical tools, formations, blood vessels, or special constitutions, as long as you integrate the secret patterns of creation into them, you can all improve. Can you restore my cultivation? Yi Chen suddenly looked up, as if grabbing a life-saving straw. Although there is very little blood left in your body, it can still be used to improve. Have you seen the secret lines of creation in front of you? Pick up a piece and inject it into it, and your cultivation will naturally recover. Are you serious about this statement? Yi Chen's eyes were hot, and he reached out to grab a mysterious pattern of creation. Suddenly, a mysterious force emerged from implementing the Great Way. After experiencing great ups and downs, no one understands the importance of strength better than him. Who? Yi Chen tried to relax himself as much as possible, and then tried to integrate the secret lines of creation into his body, combining them with the remaining blood vessels. Jiaolong bloodline is a spiritual product bloodline that can greatly enhance the body. After reaching the extreme of cultivation, my body looks like iron bones, shaking mountains and cutting off water. But now, the bloodline has been taken away, leaving only some remnants. With his cultivation being abandoned and a crisis looming, Yi Chen was already at the end of his life. No matter what method, he is willing to give it a try. Even if there is no way back. In the next moment, a sudden mutation occurred. Yi Chen felt as if he had activated the deduction mode. Various images emerge one after another in memory. The remaining dragon blood vessels are boiling and boiling hot inside the body. In just a few breaths, my blood has returned to its original state. Xiao Cheng. De Cheng. Perfect. Peak. Yi Chen's understanding of the bloodline of the dragon has reached its peak since childhood. In just a moment, it can withstand 10 years of hard work. It's simply terrifying. However, it is still on the rise. Rising, still rising. Above the peak. Bang, break. Bloodline evolution. Xianpin, Dragon Elephant Bloodline. After deducing to the extreme, the bloodline has actually evolved. Then, continue to improve. Xiao Cheng. De Cheng. Perfect. Peak. Bomb. Break it again. Evolution. Holy product, Qiu Long Bloodline. Still improving. Xiao Cheng. De Cheng. Perfect. Peak. Boom. Continue to break. Evolution. Huang Pin, War Dragon Bloodline. Still improving. Bang, bang, bang. Accompanied by the sound of wind and thunder, Yi Chen's strength and qi and blood were increasing crazily. Has a strong and vigorous physique, with qi and blood like a dragon. During the slow beating of the heart, a dull and loud roar erupted, as if a real dragon was roaring from the sky. Wild and barbaric. Finally, the deduction is over. Emperor, Emperor's class, wild ancestral dragon bloodline. Rao is Yi Chen, who has a resilient heart, but it is difficult to suppress the shock at this moment. I just infused the mysterious patterns of creation into the remaining dragon bloodline. Surprisingly, it evolved from a spiritual product to an imperial product, forging a unique. The bloodline of the wild ancestral dragon. Just as I walked out of the nearby leaf mark, I suddenly sensed a huge and ancient aura. In an instant, I was so crushed that I couldn't stand on my feet. With a thud, I knelt down on the ground. What's going on? Which big shot is breaking through? Yi Chen was horrified and looked around. This momentum comes and goes quickly. He stood up with some difficulty, still savoring the terrifying aura in his mind. Chapter 2. Secret Patterns of Creation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The secret lines of creation are not easy to come by. Currently, there are only 3 lines. After using them, you must go out to search for the Tao. The woman said, Tao can not only enhance your cultivation, but also consolidate your seal and generate more mysterious patterns of creation. Consolidate the seal. Yi Chen was puzzled. The Heaven and Earth Creation Cauldron is an independent and extraterrestrial place that imprisons many famous and powerful individuals from ancient and modern times. Some of them have violent temperaments, some are cruel and bloodthirsty, and some are cunning and cunning. There are 9 layers of sealing, and the higher the level, the stronger the presence. The woman explained faintly, the Heaven and Earth Creation Cauldron has not recognized its master for many years, and its energy consumption is very low. It is almost impossible to control these prisoners. At most for a month, the first layer of seal will loosen. After the prisoners come out, they may instantly erase you. Yi Chen took a deep breath, feeling a sense of crisis floating in his heart. Great opportunities come with great danger, even a slight mistake can lead to death. Quickly, he regained consciousness inside his body. Yi Chen opened his eyes and a brilliant light shot out from them, almost piercing through the void. The aura that ripples all over the body is ancient, barbaric, and powerful. Undoubtedly, it is the Emperor's bloodline that allowed me to break through to the realm of divine powers and spirits. Faced with the sudden fate, Yi Chen was not overwhelmed. Still, maintain a calm heart. Previously, Yi Chen said that Fang Luo was outside and wanted to withdraw from Sister Ning's marriage. In Yi Chen's eyes, a flash of killing intent flashed. Now, not only have I regained my cultivation, but I have also broken through to the realm of divine powers and spirits. I want to see how arrogant you Fang Luo can be. In the courtyard. The Yi family stood there with a bunch of high-rise buildings, looking unsightly. In front of them were all members of the Fang family. Today, our Luo is going to divorce his wife. Fang Luo sneered and suddenly threw out a contract, from now on, our Fang family has no connection with your Yi family anymore. Yi Ning in the crowd was pale and trembling all over. If it weren't for Fang Yuan's desperate plea for our marriage alliance back then, wouldn't there have been such an engagement? An old man shouted angrily, it was the head of the Yi family, Yi Chongshan. My son Yi Meng had his legs disabled, and my daughter was humiliated by Fang Luo's doorstep. Yi Chongshan was almost furious and overwhelmed. I'm talking about Uncle Yi, now it's different from the past. Yi Chen has a strong desire. He raped Princess Chang and was stripped of all his cultivation. Without the protection of the first day of Qingguo, what is your Yi family worth? Fang Luo shook his head and looked pitiful. Of course, besides divorcing, there is another thing. Fang Luo took out another contract and said, come on, sign on this as compensation for my reputation loss. After taking a glance, Yi Chongshan was furious. This contract actually wants the Yi family to leave the spiritual mine in the north of the city. The spiritual mine of the Yi family in the north of the city can produce 10 inferior spiritual stones per month, which can definitely be called wealth. Lingxi, containing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, can be used for cultivation and is also a circulating currency. Lingxi can be classified into different grades based on the richness of spiritual energy, including lower grade, middle grade, top grade, and top grade. Your Fang family, so shameless. The members of the Yi family were furious. Fang Luo was full of energy and extremely proud. I advise you not to shed tears when you see the coffin. Give up that spiritual mine as soon as possible, which is good for everyone. Otherwise, in the race competition in 3 days, our Fang family will kill all the descendants of your Yi family, leaving no successors for your Yi family. Clan comparison is a legendary battle among the 4 major families, held annually. The 4 major families will all place heavy bets and distribute rewards based on their rankings. Therefore, Fang Luo brazenly took advantage of the fire and looted. How dare you withdraw my sister Ning's marriage? A figure walked forward with a cold face, surrounded by waves of energy, surging wildly. It's Yi Chen. Chener, your injury. After seeing Yi Chen, Yi Chongshan couldn't help but be surprised. How did his injury recover so quickly? Yi Chen, are you still alive? A hint of resentment appeared in Fang Luo's pupils. Do you remember a year ago when our 2 families were sparring and you slapped me in the ring, causing me to lose face? How spirited were you at that time? But now, like a dog, you're living a miserable life. Shut up. Everyone from the Yi family burst into drinking together. Yi Chen has won many honors for his family in recent years, and they all have a genuine respect for him. That's why Yi Meng went to the imperial city to seek justice. Even if my legs are discarded, I will not regret it. It seems that in my daily life, the other party's family is too generous, so that when you heal your scars, you forget the pain. Yi Chen's killing intent surged wildly, as if a real dragon was roaring in every move. Fang Luo was taken aback and felt an irresistible aura of a king dragon from the other person. Did he regain his cultivation? You're all trash now, dare you fight with me? Fang Luo calmed down and said, go ahead and kill him. Everyone in the Fang family glanced at each other and took action together. Those who insult my sister, die. Yi Chen has no moves, just charging forward like a wild beast. The bloodline of the barbaric ancestor dragon is the oldest imperial lineage. Although it was just a small achievement, it was enough to transform Yi Chen's body into an indestructible supreme divine weapon, weighing tens of thousands of pounds. Bang 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 bang, those disciples, however, are only 7 or 8 times tempered. Often, before approaching, one is shaken out by the strong wind and their body is still in the air, already fragmented. An elder in the human spiritual realm was shocked to death by his heart meridian before he could even scream in agony. Yi Chen's expression was indifferent, as he relentlessly killed and shed blood on the courtyard. The members of the Yi family stared blankly at Yi Chen's figure, as fierce as a heavenly deity descending to earth. As always. Crown Prince, have you actually broken through to the realm of divine powers and spirits? This is impossible. Fang Luo's heart was shocked and completely panicked. Second Elder, stop him. The second leader of the Fang family is always a master of the earth spirit realm and also the 3rd highest ranking figure in the Fang family. Yi Chen, even if you break through to the realm of human spirit, what will happen? The gap in the realm is like a gap that you can never cross. Let's see, Elder, push everything horizontally. Amidst the laughter of the 2 elders, their spiritual energy condensed into a palm print, which was forcefully captured. Damn it, Fang Luo. The Fang family should be destroyed. Yi Chen's eyes were cold, and the bloodline of the barbaric ancestor dragon was running with a roar. I saw him clenching his hand into a fist, infused with tremendous strength, incredibly fierce. Boom. Under the collision, spiritual energy diffused towards the surroundings. The palm print of the second elder was smashed with a punch, and his body was shaken back a few steps by tremendous force. His pupils suddenly contracted, clearly not expecting such a scene. This kid, can't he be a barbarian? When did you reach such a strong physique that you could climb over and collide with yourself? Yi Chen's eyes turned red and he didn't pay much attention to his moves. He raised his fist and then hit again. From him, a terrifying and savage aura bloomed, faintly containing the sound of dragon roar. Impossible! Fong Luo roared in disbelief. This son must not be left behind. In the eyes of the second elder, a fierce expression flashed, heavenly fire palm. I saw flames and waves gathering in his palms, and the temperature suddenly rose, scorching hot. With a clap of air, the scorching waves rushed towards Yi Chen. Sands and stones splash and dust rises. However, Yi Chen never retreated, his strong killing intent crazily condensed. He punched again with tremendous force, and the sound of breaking through the void could be heard. The bloodline of the barbaric ancestral dragon was crazily stimulated, and in Yi Chen's eyes, a real dragon phantom even evolved, soaring freely above the 9 heavens. The power of a fist can break through 10,000 methods. Chapter 3. Thousand Stars Sword Body. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Boom. Under the intense roar, a figure was thrown out from afar. Everyone held their breath. When their gaze turned, their bodies stiffened like electric shock. The person who fell out was actually a master of the Earth Spirit Realm, the second elder of the Fong family. Fong Luo was even more frightened by this scene and wet his pants. Oh, damn it! The second elder's expression twisted with pain, and both of his arms shattered into blood mist. Yi Chen, this is just a human spiritual realm, and his power has reached such a level. The smoke and dust dissipated. Yi Chen's murderous eyes stared fixedly at Fong Luo, approaching step by step. Just like a savage killing god that has come from ancient times. Yi Chen, you can't kill me. Fong Luo was so scared that he fell to the ground, with tension and fear floating in his heart. Yi Chen didn't allow him to talk nonsense and slapped him on the head. Puff. My head burst and blood surged. Then, without waiting for Elder Fong to get up, he turned around and stomped on his throat. In an instant, killed 2 people. Chen, you actually killed Fong Luo. Yi Chongshan looked shocked and said, it's not that we shouldn't kill, it's just that the Fong family will definitely not give up easily. Fong Luo not only bullied Sister Ning, but also humiliated the lintel of our Yi family. He deserves more than he deserves. A chill flashed in Yi Chen's eyes. At this moment, he has regained the dominance of the first genius of Qinghua. If you don't agree, then do it. After all, Fong Luo is the eldest young master of the Fong family. If you kill him, the Fong family will definitely fight to the death for revenge. If it were in the past, they wouldn't dare to do anything, but now. On the side, there was an elder with a slightly pale face, very worried. I need to let them know that no matter what my Yi family looks like, it's not something others can bully. Chen, the head of the Fong family, Fong Yuan, and the elder are both cultivators of the heavenly spirit realm. After hesitating for a moment, Yi Chongshan asked, after the fierce injury, I am the only one left in the heavenly spirit realm of the family. Are you confident in dealing with one of them? Give me a few days, I can do it. Yi Chen remained calm and his voice was serious. Just one sentence seemed to inject a shot of adrenaline into everyone present. Okay. Chen, if your parents are here, I will definitely be proud of you. Yi Chongshan was excited and his hands trembled. In these 3 days, he has really experienced too much emotional ups and downs. After the news of Yi Chen being deposed and Yi Meng's leg being broken spread, all allies of the Yi family were cut off overnight. All enemies seize the opportunity and fall into the well. Many neighborhoods and shops of the Yi family have been besieged and looted. Fortunately, Yi Chen stood up during the difficult times. He carried the Yi family back on his shoulders with his own strength. Here are more than 10 inferior spirit stones. In 3 days, it will be the race competition. Chener, it's all up to you. Yi Chongshan took out a bag and handed it to Yi Chen. More than 10 inferior spirit stones are the entire Yi family's monthly income from spirit mines. However, Yi Chongshan did not hesitate to hand it all over to Yi Chen. The other members of the tribe also take it for granted. Because Yi Chen deserves it. Blocking the news, the matter of Chener restoring her strength must not be leaked. After Yi Chen left, Yi Chongshan solemnly ordered him to go down. Su Aoxue has taken Chener's bloodline and even framed him on charges. If she wants to know that Yi Chen has regained his strength, she will definitely not give up. Returning to the room, Yi Chen picked up the spirit stone and prepared to absorb it. At this moment, an impulse surged deep in my mind. Eat it. Eating. Yi Chen hesitated and ultimately tried to put a spirit stone into his mouth. Bang bang. With just one bite, it shattered the spirit stone. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth was instantly infused into Yi Chen's body. More than 10 times faster than absorption cultivation. Wild ancestral dragon bloodline, feeding on spirit stones. The woman's voice rang out, "Don't worry, this is something special about you." Yi Chen nodded and threw over a dozen spirit stones into his mouth one by one, just like eating sugar beans. After a few breaths, a strong spiritual energy emerged on his body surface, spreading outwards like ripples. After exhaling, Yi Chen asked, "Senior, what should I do if I want to enter the cauldron?" As the owner of the heaven and earth creation cauldron, a single thought can enter. The woman said, "But remember, your realm is low now, and what comes in is only the mind, while your physical body will fall into a deep sleep. Don't use it in dangerous places. When your realm is high in the future, you can come in together with your physical body." Yi Chen nodded, his mind once again entering the cauldron. He has a lot of confusion and wants to ask the mysterious woman to answer. "Senior, you said I am born with a sword body, so can I embark on the path of sword cultivation?" Sword is the king of all weapons, and sword cultivator is the strongest warrior among cultivators. Under the same realm, sword cultivation is invincible. Qingguo once had a swordsman who could suppress heaven and earth with just one sword. I heard that I have already realized the heart of the sword and stand high on the top of the world. Every country and sect regards him as a deity and praises his deeds. Yi Chen naturally longed for this. Ordinary genius, physique and bloodline only account for one, but you actually have both the dragon bloodline and the innate sword body. Jiaolong bloodline is just a spiritual product, born with a sword body, but it is a solid holy body. With your talent, if you cultivate swords, you can indeed become one of the top sword cultivators in the Qinglian realm. In the future, you may be able to understand the heart of the sword, but if you want to go further, relying solely on your natural sword body is not enough. The woman answered. Kendo has 4 realms. It is divided into sword meaning, sword heart, sword soul, and sword domain. Yi Chen was shocked and said, "Sword heart. Isn't it true that only a sword saint can comprehend sword heart?" Above the realm of divine powers and spirits, there are the realm of breaking through the void and the realm of taking lives. Sword cultivators who have reached the sacred realm of death can be called sword saints. Sword saint is the strongest existence in Yi Chen's understanding. "She, who told you the wrong reason?" The woman disdained, "As long as you have a strong understanding of swordsmanship, even the divine realm can still possess sword intent and refine sword heart." Yi Chen suddenly thought to himself, since the secret patterns of creation can enhance all things, can they be directly used to improve my swordsmanship? Dreaming, before the creation of the secret pattern, you did indeed upgrade your spiritual product bloodline to an imperial product, but this is only equivalent to enhancing your bloodline. You cannot control it as you please because your proficiency is not enough. It's like it can give you food, but it can't directly fill your stomach. The woman said, "The realm of swordsmanship is different from martial arts and magical tools, and you need to devote yourself to understanding it. Now that your barbaric ancestral dragon bloodline is small and your endurance has greatly increased, if you are truly determined to embark on the path of sword cultivation, you can integrate a mysterious pattern of creation into your body to upgrade your innate sword body. Thank you very much for your guidance, Senior. Chen arched his hand towards the void. Then, he grabbed a secret line of creation and stuck it to the center of his eyebrows. In the next moment, Chen felt that there seemed to be thousands of subtle sword energies emanating from his body. The intense pain twisted his face. In his throat, he let out a low roar like that of a wild beast. Fortunately, Chen possesses the bloodline of a wild ancestor dragon and a strong physique. If the first creation secret pattern is used to enhance oneself, it may instantly explode and die. Upgrade, upgrade. My whole body was covered in flesh and blood, like slices of a knife cutting. Born with a sword body, it is a sacred body, and often one can possess a sword heart and become a sword saint along the way of swordsmanship. But just being a sword saint is not enough. I don't know how long it has been, but the pain has finally eased. Accompanied by a thunderous roar that shook heaven and earth. Born sword body, finally evolved. Imperial grade, angry sword body. You can control swordsmanship as you please, and even unleash the power of a furious sword, increasing your combat power. However, Huangpin is not the end point. The body of the angry sword is still being deduced and improved. Boom. At this moment, Chen's temperament is as fierce as a sword. Surrounded by the yin and yang energy of the Great Road, the Sanskrit sound enters the ears. If you stare for a long time, you can even see those air currents, all composed of small sword chi. With just one thought, you may be able to unleash thousands of swords and slay everything. Finally, the deduction is over. The original natural sword body has also transformed into an imperial physique. The Thousand Stars Sword Body. Chapter 4. Chen's Kendo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Thousand Stars Sword Body, with heaven and earth as the melting pot and stars as the sword energy, is also the strongest and oldest imperial body on the path of swordsmanship. From now on, when you step onto swordsmanship, there will be no more constraints, and the realm of the sword domain may not be your end point. The woman spoke softly, while feeling in her heart. Whoever the heaven and earth creation cauldron recognizes as the master will become the ruler of all worlds. I hope you, Chen, don't insult the reputation of previous cauldrons. Thousands of star-shaped sword bodies, the bloodline of the barbaric ancestor dragon. Chen clenched his fists tightly, realizing that he had a unique opportunity and fortune. Emperor body. Emperor's pulse. The strongest bloodline and physique in the entire Qinglian realm are just holy bodies and veins. Above the sacred product is the imperial product, above the imperial product is the imperial product. From now on, I will surely crush all the heavenly pride. Sing all the way, invincible. There is also the last secret line of creation, don't rush to use it, it can save lives in critical moments. After the words fell, an iron sword fell from the sky. The woman said coldly, although this iron sword is rusty, it is enough for you to use. Improve your strength as soon as possible so that you can search for Dao Ze. Chen picked up the iron sword and let out a dry cough. So, can Senior Master teach me swordsmanship? There are countless star-shaped sword bodies in the sky, but there is no matching sword technique, which is really helpless. However, only 3 cold words replied to him. I realize it myself. Under Chen's feet, a dense mist suddenly filled the air. Brush. 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 3 dark shadows appeared out of nowhere, wielding a long sword and attacking Chen. In the mist, I couldn't see my fingers when I reached out. Under Chen's panic, he was struck several swords. No matter how he dodged, the 3 sword lights were like maggots attached to the bones, following closely behind. Seeing that there was no way to retreat, Chen gritted his teeth and picked up his iron sword to fight against these three black shadows. Only by constantly wandering on the edge of life and death can one realize one's unique swordsmanship. On this aspect, no one can help you. If you want to not die by the sword, unleash all your potential. How terrifying is the Thousand Stars sword body. You need to explore in life and death. Before the woman could finish speaking, she saw Chen launch a counterattack amidst his fierce roar. He held his sword in both hands and, relying on his strong and dragon-like physique, fiercely slashed forward. A wild aura bloomed from him, full of fighting spirit and vigorous blood. With a vigorous slash, a thick sword energy was unleashed, shaking apart three dark shadows. So I'm so strong. Seeing this, Chen's eyes lit up with confidence. Next, he seemed to have an epiphany and decided to abandon all tricks, be simple and rough, and go straight ahead. Open and close the room, chop and explode everything. Even if he accidentally got a few swords, Chen didn't care at all. You stabbed me with a sword. Okay, I'll take it, but I'm going to chop your head off with my backhand. Be more aggressive, be more aggressive. Be carefree. Flowing. It doesn't exist. Chen is like a fierce beast in the wilderness, rampaging through the mist, his swordsmanship wild and powerful, extremely domineering. If this can also be called swordsmanship. Half an hour later, the fog dissipated. Those three dark shadows were actually chopped to pieces by his thick sword energy. Breathing, wheezing. Chen sat on the ground, covered in sword injuries. But for Chen, who has the bloodline of a wild ancestral dragon, this is nothing at all. He has extremely strong self-healing ability, and in just a few breaths, his injuries have all recovered. The woman remained silent for a long time. Is this the path of swordsmanship you are going to take? Her emotions are extremely complex. Please, you are a sword body with countless stars, the oldest and most powerful imperial body along the way of swordsmanship. Your talent is even more explosive than an explosion. Even a casual strike could potentially lead to enlightenment. Even if you practice swordsmanship with your eyes closed, you can easily step through the four realms of swordsmanship. With such unique conditions, how could you wield your sword and chop like a street thug? Do you think you're holding a kitchen knife? What is Kendo? It's a ethereal body technique. It's an unparalleled sword technique. It's a 10-year hard work. It's a graceful act of killing one person in 10 steps. I don't know why, it feels more convenient like this, Chen said nonchalantly anyway, holding the sword in one's own hand, how comfortable it is. Boom. At this moment, the door was kicked open. Chen, get out of here. A figure with a murderous intent stood at the door. Chen frowned and his mind returned to his body. Chen, what do you mean? Looking at the murderous Chen, a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. I heard that the master has given you all the spiritual stones from this month's spiritual minerals. Why, even if you have restored your cultivation, why occupy so many cultivation resources alone? Chen's eyes were slightly crimson, indicating that he was extremely angry. He is 3 years older than Chen, and his realm has reached the 10th level of quenching. There are still 3 days left, which is the race competition. Chen originally intended to take advantage of these 3 days to use spirit stones to impact the divine realm. If successful, one will definitely stand out in the race competition. Although the Yi family is one of the 4 major families in Qinghua, their resources are limited. Chen wants to leave the Yi family as soon as possible and go to a broader world. However, when he went to ask the master for the spiritual stone, he was told that the dozen or so lower-grade spiritual stones of the spiritual mineral had already been given to Chen for cultivation this month. Because Chen has regained his cultivation, it is necessary to quickly stabilize his realm. Such news makes it difficult for Chen to accept. Why? I, Chen, am also a genius of the Yi family. Even though my talent may not be as good as his Yi Chen, can he treat me like nothing else? Yi Chen, hand over the spirit stone. Yi Chen let out a roar and clenched his fists tightly. A fierce expression condensed in the eyes. Yi Chen has been dissatisfied with Yi Chen for a long time, and he, who has been suppressed for years, deeply harbors a grudge in his heart. Today, take this opportunity to burst out. Anyway, Yi Chen has just regained his realm, and his strength will definitely be affected. I, Yi Chen, want to prove that I am the first genius of the Yi family. Yi Chen said indifferently, the spirit stone has already been refined by me. In 3 days, I will supply you. If it had been before, he would have been angry and taken action. He, who had just received a series of adventures, had a significant change in his mood and naturally wouldn't get angry over such a small matter. Finished refining. Bullshit, that's a lower grade spirit stone. One is enough for you to absorb for 3 days. Yi Chen, are you treating me like a fool? Supply me, what do you want to supply me with? Yi Chen laughed back angrily and sarcastically, sometimes, I really can't understand why the head of the family values you so much. Even if you are deposed, even if you make countless enemies because of you, we must protect you and stand on your side. Sometimes, I wonder if you are his illegitimate child. As soon as these words were spoken, Yi Chen's expression immediately darkened. Shut up. His pupils exuded a murderous intent. Since my parents left, uncle has been extremely caring in caring for me. Yi Meng and Yi Ning are better to themselves, even to his 2 children. How could Yi Chen speak out and humiliate this kindness? How did you get angry and embarrassed when I hit you? Yi Chen suddenly made a move, with a surge of spiritual energy on his fist, charging towards Yi Chen. His bones banged inside him, causing a violent airflow that roared like the wind. Look at this momentum, it's not far from the divine realm. He was unaware that in the courtyard, Yi Chen had taken action and killed Fang Luo and the second elder of the Fang family. I don't even know that the initial feeling of antiquity also came from Yi Chen. If he knew, even if he had a few more courage, he wouldn't dare to shout a word, let alone take the initiative. Yi Chen's eyes were cold, and a finger pierced through the air. Ah! Yi Chen let out a scream, only to be knocked out by the spiritual energy contained in this finger and smashed through the courtyard wall. When did you break through the spiritual realm with your spiritual energy released? Yi Chen's face turned pale, and before he could finish a sentence, he spat out a mouthful of blood. In the pupils, there is inherent fear. For the sake of being part of the Yi family, I'll spare your life. Get lost. Yi Chen let out a loud shout, causing Yi Chen's body to tremble. Yi Chen's body trembled, and at this moment, all his resentment was replaced by fear. At present, Yi Chen crawled and fled towards the outside. Being disturbed by Yi Chen also lost his intention to cultivate. It was early morning outside, and the sunlight shone in, making it warm. I remember there were several good swordsmanship books in the family martial arts pavilion. After reading them, they should be able to improve me a bit. Yi Chen thought of this, stood up, and walked out of the room. Have you made up your mind in Chapter 5? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Inside the Wu Pavilion, there are all the younger generation of the Yi family. After all, 3 days from now will be the race competition, and they all want to face the battle and cram for it. Even if it's just a slight improvement, there is a possibility of advancing by 1 rank and receiving different rewards. Hello Crown Prince. I have seen the Crown Prince. After seeing Yi Chen, the children of the Yi family all cast respectful glances. If it weren't for Yi Chen, the Yi family would never have risen to prominence in recent years and become the most powerful among the 4 major families. Many people have predicted that Yi Chen will definitely be able to break through the divine realm and enter the realm of breaking through the void in the future. Breaking through the mysterious realm of the sky. For these small neighboring countries, it is simply unimaginable existence. Only within the sect can there be powerful beings who can break through the void and mysterious realm. Once Chen reaches this point, the Yi family will transform from a faint momentum to the strongest force within a radius of 100,000 miles. By then, the small Qinghua can be destroyed with a raised hand. After all, the strongest in Qinghua is only half a step into the mysterious realm. That's also why the Qin royal family is so wary of Yi Chen. Yi Chen nodded slightly and then walked towards the area dedicated to storing swordsmanship, searching for it. Swordsmanship. Is the Crown Prince actually observing swordsmanship? Something's wrong. I remember the Crown Prince was not interested in swords before. The Crown Prince possesses the dragon bloodline, which is the spiritual bloodline. Isn't practicing swordsmanship a waste of time? Those Yi family children started discussing in a low voice. Yi Chen ignored the gaze of others and flipped through several swordsmanship books, but couldn't find what he wanted. The Yi family, after all, is still too weak, and the strongest swordsmanship is just an ordinary skill. Suddenly, Yi Chen communicated with the mysterious woman through consciousness and said, "Isn't there still one left for the creation of secret patterns? Why don't I directly upgrade a mortal sword technique? After all, I am an ancient star sword body. If I don't have a matching sword technique, it would be a waste of time." "I see you're looking for death." The woman drank coldly and said, "There is only one last layer of the secret pattern of creation left. To prevent the seal from collapsing, if you use this layer as well, if you can't find the way before the seal collapses, with your limited ability, the prisoner inside will come out and be instantly stunned with just one glance." Yi Chen coughed twice and had to put aside this idea. "Chener, do you want to practice swordsmanship?" At this moment, a tall figure walked towards Yi Chongshan. "Uncle." Yi Chen looked respectful and said, "After recovering his cultivation, I feel like I have gained some understanding along the way of swordsmanship, so I want to improve. You have the bloodline of a dragon and unparalleled talent in the process of refining your body. If you embark on the path of sword cultivation, what awaits you will be multiplied difficulties and dangers, as well as an incorrect path. Have you made up your mind?" At this moment, Yi Chongshan's expression appeared extremely solemn. It seems like there is something important to say to Yi Chen. Yi Chen was taken aback for a moment, then nodded and said, "Uncle, this is my decision after careful consideration. Taiku Xingchen sword body, a unique swordsmanship emperor body. If I don't do sword cultivation, I'm afraid even the heavens won't look down on me. Okay, Chener, come with me." In Yi Chongshan's eyes, a glimmer of essence flashed. Then, he walked ahead and took Yi Chen to the second floor of the Wu Pavilion. I saw Yi Chongshan groping in front of the bookshelf on the second floor and quickly opening a secret door. Inside is a secret room, very deep, emitting many mysterious atmospheres. Yi Chen felt this aura, his eyes narrowed slightly, and he had a familiar feeling. Soon, Yi Chongshan took out a black box from the secret room. He handed it to Yi Chen and said, "Chener, this box is something your father left for you." "My dad?" Yi Chen was very surprised. "Why haven't you ever heard uncle mention this before?" Yi Chongshan clearly saw Yi Chen's doubts and smiled bitterly, explaining, "Before your father left, he had a long conversation with me all night. He asked me to keep this black box, and when you decide to embark on the path of sword cultivation, I will hand it over to you." "Did my dad say that again?" Yi Chen was surprised that his parents had disappeared as early as 10 years ago. Did Dad guess 10 years ago that he would one day become a sword cultivator? At that time, I felt a bit outrageous. You are a dragon bloodline. If you don't practice your body well, why do you need to do sword cultivation? I asked your father, but he refused to tell me. He just said, "It all depends on fate." I thought you wouldn't use this black box in this lifetime. Yi Chongshan's eyes were full of meaning. "Everything is indeed as your father expected." Yi Chen took the black box, which was heavy inside and didn't know what it contained. This aura. At this moment, the mysterious woman in her mind suddenly let out a low cry. Chen suddenly felt a daze. After calming down, he immediately asked, "Senior, what's inside this?" Judging from her appearance, it seems that she knows what's inside this black box. The mysterious woman remained silent for a long time without speaking. "Chen, although I don't know your father's intentions, never question his love for you. He and your mother are really forced and helpless. If not, he will definitely not leave you alone in the family." Yi Chongshan's eyes showed a loving expression. He reached out and patted Yi Chen's shoulder, saying with a smile, "In the blink of an eye, Chen heir has grown into an adult. The important task of revitalizing the Yi family in the future may be to have the entire tribe on your shoulders. Uncle, please rest assured that I, Yi Chen, will definitely live up to expectations and lead the family to rise against the trend." Yi Chen nodded heavily, his words being resolute and resounding. Okay. Yi Chongshan said, tears welled up in his eyes again. He reached out and wiped it, muttering, "This is good. How did sand come in?" After Yi Chen left, Yi Chongshan still stopped on the second floor of the Wu Pavilion and never left. A figure walked out from the depths of the secret room, his voice slightly hoarse. "All of this, as expected, has a perfect score. Chener's future path is beyond our grasp," he said. Yi Chongshan sighed and said, "For so many years, even I don't know what's inside the box. If you just hand it over to him, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. If you're curious, then I can tell you, inside is a broken sword." After saying these words, the figure hunched back into the secret room and said, "Close the door tightly." "Is it that broken sword?" Yi Chongshan exclaimed in silence. "You didn't consider his wishes and forcibly entrusted him with such responsibility." "I have my thoughts." Before the figure could finish speaking, there was a severe cough, gasping for breath. Yi Chongshan's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with heartache. He asked in a low voice, "After experiencing this difficulty, Chener has grown a lot. When will you come out and tell him everything?" The figure was stunned for a while before finally speaking bleakly, "The timing is not yet ripe." At this moment, his back appeared unusually lonely, as if isolated from the world. Chapter 6. A Broken Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After returning to the room, Yi Chen couldn't resist his curiosity and wanted to reach out to open the black iron box. You have to think carefully that once you open this box, you will have to bear another responsibility, a responsibility that should not belong to you, and there is no way back. The woman's voice rang out at this moment. "This is what my dad left me, I believe he won't harm me." Yi Chen smiled slightly and then decisively opened the black box. Buzz! A sharp sword light bloomed from the box, making it impossible for people to open their eyes. Yi Chen squinted his eyes and didn't open them for a long time. In the black box, there is clearly a sword. To be precise, this is a broken sword. This broken sword is only half a meter long, with a simple hilt accounting for half. It is pure black throughout and is engraved with strange patterns. If you observe carefully, you can see that this was once a very thick and heavy giant sword, with wide and thick blades breaking out of thin air and very smooth cracks. It's like being cut off in one go. Is what my father left me a broken sword? Yi Chen pondered for a moment and said, "Senior, is there any difference in this broken sword, and what is the so-called responsibility?" "It's nothing, I read it wrong." The woman said indifferently, "This is a spiritual artifact that is even less valuable when broken. However, looking at this thick blade, it is very suitable for you. Take it and use it." Seeing that she didn't want to say much, Yi Chen didn't continue to ask. He picked up the broken sword and tried to wave it. The sound of breaking through the sky, the sound of hunting. This broken sword is as heavy as a mountain, which is a surprising opportunity. I didn't have any weapons, so I used them. Yi Chen grinned contentedly. This is something left by my father for me. Although it may not be considered a treasure, its significance is extraordinary. Chen, I'm here to deliver medicine to you. At this moment, a sound came from outside. It's Yi Chen's third uncle, Yi Haijiang. The door opened and a slightly chubby middle-aged man walked in. He held a tray with over a dozen medicinal herbs placed on it, obviously carefully selected and matched. Uncle San, why are there so many medicinal herbs? Yi Chen was somewhat surprised when he saw the situation. Yi Haijiang is an alchemist. An apprentice who can only mix some ordinary medicinal herbs. Whether it is elixirs, formations, martial arts, or artifacts, they are all divided into spiritual, mystical, sacred, imperial, and imperial categories. Only by refining spiritual elixirs can one be considered a qualified alchemist. If Yi Haijiang could become an alchemist, he would gain an extremely prestigious position. Along with the entire Yi family in Cloud City, the water will rise and the boats will rise. Unfortunately, he doesn't have this talent. Yi Haijiang grinned and said, there are still 3 days before the race competition. I heard that the reward this time is very high. You, along with Yi Chen and Yi Xiao, are the hope of our Yi family. However, among the three, only you have been promoted to the human spirit realm. Although these medicinal herbs may not necessarily improve you much, it's good to have an extra chance of winning. Soak these 3 medicinal herbs in a bathtub and absorb them after cultivation. This medicinal herb can be eaten directly, applied to the wound, and this one. Yi Haijiang spoke very carefully, afraid that Yi Chen might make a mistake. There was a glint of love in his eyes. At this moment, the heartfelt family affection surged in Yi Chen's heart. Over the years, both Uncle Yi Chongshan and Uncle Yi Haijiang have been very kind to themselves. From childhood to adulthood, always like this. This also strengthened Yi Chen's belief. I must put in more effort in order to repay my family. At this moment, Yi Haijiang took a deep breath and his voice trembled slightly. Chen, Uncle San has received news that the Fang family has joined forces with 2 other major families and is preparing to take action against you in the clan competition. You. Remember to be careful. Don't worry, Uncle. Yi Chen smiled. I used to be the first genius of Qinghua, and the existence of the heaven and earth creation cauldron has given me infinite possibilities. How could the geniuses of other families be seen in such a situation? Okay, then these last 3 days, you're good at practicing. Third uncle won't disturb you anymore. After Yi Haijiang finished speaking, he turned around and wanted to leave. At this moment, Yi Chen could clearly see a shocking blood mark on the neck behind Yi Haijiang's neck. Third uncle, wait a minute. Yi Chen took a few steps forward and pulled open Yi Haijiang's collar. Who did it? A hint of anger flashed through his pupils, and he couldn't help but roar. Intense anger surged wildly. Behind Yi Haijiang, there was a knife wound that extended from his neck, half a meter long, cutting across the entire back. Although it has been treated, the shocking wound is still bleeding, even soaked in gauze. There's nothing wrong. Yesterday, the Fang family sent someone to snatch the medicinal herbs from my pharmacy. I acted with them on the spot and suffered some small losses. There's no risk of life, it's okay. Yi Haijiang waved his hands repeatedly, making a nonchalant appearance. The more so, the more angry Yi Chen became. Fang family, not only did you steal the medicinal herbs from our Yi family, but you also sent Fang Luo to come and divorce us. It's really worth killing. Uncle San, tell me, who is it? Yi Chen suppressed his anger and his voice remained calm. Yes. It's the crown prince of the Fang family, Fang Yan. Yi Haijiang sighed and said, Fang Yan broke through to the divine realm a few days ago. Apart from him, Chen Hui from the Chen family and He Xinghuan from the He family all broke through one after another in a day. It's just too coincidental. I suspect there is a conspiracy behind this. Fang Yan is Fang Luo's younger brother and also the crown prince of the Fang family, the first genius. No need to think, it must be Su Aoxue causing trouble. Yi Chen's gaze was grim. Su Aoxue is resentful of our Yi family. She didn't die fast enough, so she decided to help the crown prince of the other three major families break through, so that they can come together to deal with our Yi family. Okay, great. On the day of the clan competition, I will personally chop off Fong Yan's head. Yi Chen's killing intent boiled in his heart, like a pool of boiling hot iron. After seeing off Yi Haijiang, Yi Chen took a bath with medicinal herbs. These medicinal herbs are not many, just enough for 3 days. After soaking in the medicinal bath, Yi Chen changed into clothes. When I was about to rest, I only heard a maid knocking on the door outside. Crown Prince, the young master has returned. Big brother is back. Upon hearing these words, Yi Chen suddenly stood up. The elder brother Yi Meng's leg was broken due to himself, and he was later taken out by his tribe to seek medical treatment and medicine. I finally returned today, and I don't know if I have found a cure for that leg. Yi family courtyard. Yi Meng lay on the carriage, barely showing a smile. Dad, it's okay. Although the Yi family has lost me, fortunately, Brother Chen has regained his cultivation. He has extraordinary talent, and even if he's the only one, he can lead me to revitalize the Yi family. Obviously, no cure was found. On the side of Yi Chongshan, his lips wriggled, as if he had aged several decades. Big brother. At this moment, Yi Chen walked quickly. His gaze swept over Yi Meng's legs, and even though he had prepared mentally, he was still shocked by this scene. Yi Meng's 2 legs, below his knees, were soft and completely shattered. Chen, big brother has become a useless person. I'm afraid he won't be able to contribute to the family again in the future. Yi Meng's expression was gloomy, indicating that he was trying his best to hold back his disappointment. Don't worry, big brother. I will do everything I can to cure you. In Yi Chen's eyes, a resolute expression flashed. Crown Prince, we have all tried the method. The disciple of the Yi family on the carriage also sighed softly, but the imperial family is too domineering. They directly issued a statement that any pharmacy that dares to sell pills to the Yi family will be punished for treason. Can this leg be treated? Of course it can. With the bone-shaping pill, it can be cured. Shagudan is a spiritual pill with high value, and only a few pharmacies in the entire Qinghua have it. Who is willing to offend the imperial family for the sake of the Yi family? Seriously, there's nothing we can do about it. Yi Chen clenched his fists tightly, and his hatred toward Su Aoxue grew wildly. The disciple fell silent for a moment and said, "There's another way. I took Brother Meng to listen to the Wind Tower branch. They also have bone-shaping pills, but they don't sell them. We must exchange them for something." What is it? Yi Chen asked. Tingfenglu is a huge chamber of commerce with branches spread across hundreds of countries. Wealth is the highest in the world, and one's status is exceptionally high. That's also why things that the royal family doesn't allow to be sold are still being sold in Tingfeng Tower. A century-old treasure medicine. The disciple was disheartened. Once a medicinal herb reaches 100 years old, it can be called a precious medicine. The value of a century-old treasure medicine is no less than that of spiritual pills. I remember, deep in the Panlong Mountains, there is a century-old treasure medicine. Yi Chen seemed to remember something, and his eyes lit up. Chenair, no way. Yi Chongshan shook his head and said, near the treasure medicine, there is a powerful earth spirit realm monster guarding it. I heard that this monster has been waiting for the treasure medicine to mature. Once swallowed, it may directly promote to the heaven spirit realm. The other 3 major families have paid a lot of costs, but they have not been able to get that treasure medicine. You must not act recklessly when you first enter the human spirit realm. Yi Meng also hurriedly said, Brother Chen, you are the future of the family, and you must not take risks for me. Big brother, your leg is broken because of me. If I can't even bear this responsibility, what face do you have to stand in the world? In Yi Chen's pupils, a resolute expression flashed. Uncle, don't worry, I'll go to the Panlong Mountains to try my luck. I won't act recklessly. If I'm not defeated, I'll definitely retreat. This statement is resounding. After speaking, Yi Chen strode towards the outside. Inside the cauldron, the woman muttered to herself, "This kid is full of passion and would rather bend than bend." With this simplicity, he is truly a natural talent for sword cultivation. Chapter 7. The Unusual Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Panlong Mountains are located in the wilderness outside the city. Yi Chen carried a broken sword on his back and galloped his horse. Finally arrived at the Panlong Mountains before sunset. There are many medicinal herbs in the Panlong Mountains, and many families or adventurers come here to collect them. Through memory, Yi Chen knew clearly that the so-called century-old treasure medicine was guarded by a giant ape about to enter the heavenly spirit realm in the deepest part of the mountain range. The giant ape is the beast king of this dragon mountain range, cunning and violent, and countless people died in his hands. At the outskirts of the mountain range, Yi Chen abandoned his horse and walked towards the depths of the mountain on foot. Not long after entering it, the ferocious roar of the demon beast came to my ears. Who? In the jungle ahead, a fierce cheetah pounced out. It walked quietly and only pounced at the last moment, unable to defend itself. Like a fierce wind, with a ferocious face, he opened his bloody mouth and tore at it. Human spirit realm monster, spotted leopard. Known for its terrifying speed and biting ability. Bang! Yi Chen was too lazy to draw his sword and raised his hand to strike a punch, hitting the face of the spotted leopard. The spotted leopard was knocked to the ground, roaring and convulsing in pain. The power of this punch is remarkable. Half of the cheekbones of the spotted leopard collapsed, and blood kept gushing out of its eyes. Yi Chen's body was as stable as a mountain, and he took a few steps forward and swung down with one palm. The terrifying power within cuts off the neck of the spotted leopard in one fell swoop. Sharp bones pierced through the skin, bleeding profusely. Emperor's pulse and body are present, and Yi Chen's current strength is definitely capable of challenging the masters of the earth spirit realm. The second elder of the Fong family before was a living example. But I dare not say anything about the giant ape in the heavenly realm. After killing the spotted leopard, Yi Chen continued to penetrate. Yi Meng's injury has been delayed for 4 days. If you can't get the bone-shaping pill quickly, once it deteriorates, it will become even more difficult. Late at night, Yi Chen finally approached his destination. The surroundings are very quiet, because ordinary monsters dare not step into the territory of giant apes. At this moment, a purple light suddenly bloomed in the distance, appearing extremely bright in the darkness. Yi Chen's expression stiffened and he quickly flew forward. I saw a purple treasure medicine blooming halfway up the mountain in the distance, with a strong aroma that was clearly about to mature. And next to the treasure medicine, a giant ape was guarding there. It was obviously excited, and after dancing, it grabbed the treasure medicine and threw it into its mouth. Oh no, this beast swallowed the treasure medicine. Yi Chen saw this and a hint of anger flashed through his pupils. Without hesitation, he rushed towards the giant ape. No matter what, we must seize this precious medicine. In mid-air, Yi Chen drew his broken sword and angrily chopped it down. The thick blood gas exploded with a loud bang. The giant ape had just taken the precious medicine and had not yet had time to refine it when he saw the figure of Yi Chen. For a moment, the giant ape was furious, with crimson pupils. Boom! Its palm, the size of a cattail fan, fluttered in the air. The blossoming waves are extremely crazy, even the strong ones in the heavenly spirit realm may not be able to withstand them. Bang! The wave of air split by the broken sword was shattered by a slap from the giant ape. Yi Chen did not retreat but instead advanced, relying on his aggressive physique, and collided with the giant ape. Ow! The giant ape retreated a few meters, leaving several cracked footprints in front of it. It is clearly surprised. How could this little one in front of me possess such terrifying power? Chen exclaimed excitedly, his beast-like physique bursting with endless blood. He clenched his broken sword with both hands and swung the broad and thick blade. Bang! The broken sword fiercely swept onto the giant ape's leg. The power surging out is immense, sweeping across heaven and earth. The calf bones of the giant ape were broken by a single sweep. It grinned in pain, and its tail was as swift as a whip, whipping Chen away. Ow! The giant ape took 2 steps back and emitted a purple glow from its mouth. His expression was extremely painful. It has no time to refine treasure medicine in battle and can only withstand the effect of backfire. Ha ha ha, that's just this power. Scratching it. Chen got up and laughed wildly. The woman saw all of this and let out a deep sigh. This is not sword cultivation, it's like a barbarian holding a sword. Having such a unique talent, yet stubbornly following this path. Is it right or wrong? The woman wanted to say something, but in the end, she took it back. It's okay, it's okay. All of this was his own choice. Roar. The giant ape was completely enraged and unleashed its primitive wildness, leaping high and rushing towards Chen. His fist, the size of a grinding wheel, smashed down at the same time. Boom! Chen's body was full of blood, and there was a dragon shadow passing through his eyes. Every breath is incredibly heavy. Amidst the frenzy, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was squeezed to a hissing sound. At that moment, he even avoided it, waving his broken sword with both hands and heading towards the giant ape. Dong! The broken sword and 2 fists shook together. The nearby air was shaken and exploded, with visible waves rolling and dispersing. Chen's legs, bent down, had already been smashed into the ground with tremendous force. The tiger's mouth cracked, and blood flowed down the hilt of the sword. The giant ape also felt uncomfortable, and his fists were shattered by the sword energy from the broken sword, causing his face to contort in pain. Chen's gaze was sharp as he said, "Animal, today is your deadline." In the eyes of the giant ape, a hint of humanized resentment flashed. At present, no longer wasting time, he turned around and ran towards the hillside. Landing on 4 feet, extremely fast. Obviously, I want to come back and kill Chen after refining the treasure medicine. Want to run? Chen suddenly burst into a frenzy, gripping the broken sword with both hands and gripping it tightly. A raging killing intent rises in the chest. The subtle sword energy on the body intertwined at this moment, condensing a terrifying aura together. Wilderness and tyranny. The artistic conception is so strong. At this moment, only the figure of the giant ape running away remained in Chen's eyes. Big Brother's legs are broken because of me. Anyway, I will cure him. And this precious medicine is the only hope for exchanging for the bone-shaping pill. Never let it escape. Kill. Chen didn't know how to vent his emotions at the moment, and thousands of words turned into one word. With a broken sword in hand, a strong and dazzling sword light suddenly erupted. This sword light, heavy and thick, crossed the void and swung onto the back of the giant ape, crushing it fiercely to the ground. Julie, crush. Click. The ground cracks and cracks spread. Ow. The giant ape let out a scream, but was crushed to death by the sword energy as heavy as a mountain. Who? Chen's eyes turned black and he was panting heavily. That sword just now depleted all the spiritual energy in his body. However, that mysterious artistic conception still deeply trapped Chen, unable to extricate himself. Sword intent. In her mind, a woman exclaimed, "I never expected that you would comprehend the meaning of the sword in this way." The so-called sword meaning refers to the artistic conception of Kendo. As a sword cultivator, one must naturally move forward without hesitation. Even in the face of setbacks and difficulties, a heart that faces the sword will never be covered in dust. This is an artistic conception, an insight, and more importantly, a way of dealing with people and things. Only by understanding the meaning of the sword can one be called sword cultivator. Chen so. Called swordsmanship is so outrageous, never heard of before. But he happened to understand the meaning of the sword. Is this the meaning of the sword? Chen was shocked and recalled the sword he had previously swung. That sword, so heavy and heavy, like a mountain pressing down. Unexpectedly, through this unconventional sword, I realized the meaning of the sword. Do you think he had an adventure in Chapter 8? You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are the most unique sword cultivator I have ever seen. The woman remained silent for a long time before saying a word. Let's take a look at those famous sword cultivators in history, which one is not known for their swordsmanship and techniques. How could Chen swing his sword like this? Weirdo, what a strange thing. Oh no, treasure medicine. Chen slammed his head and rushed towards the body of the giant ape. Half of the body of this giant ape was crushed into blood mud, emitting a pungent smell. Chen searched through the flesh and blood for a while and finally found the precious medicine. This precious medicine has been partially digested by gastric juice, and the spiritual energy inside has also weakened a bit. This giant ape is the beast king of this place. There should be many treasures in the cave, right? Chen put the precious medicine into the ring, then stood up and searched in the darkness. After searching for it, I really saw a cave on the mountainside ahead. I saw several layers of monster bones randomly piled up in front of the cave entrance, emitting a faint smell of blood. Chen suppressed his excitement and touched it. On the ground, a pile of treasures were scattered haphazardly. Various medicinal herbs, weapons, and many inferior spirit stones. These should be treasures from the cultivator's collection of precepts. When this beast destroys the collection, the treasures naturally fall out. It doesn't know how to use them, but all of them are cheap for me. Chen laughed heartily and without hesitation put all the treasures into the ring. A bunch of rags. The woman sneered, "You are the master of the heaven and earth creation cauldron. Can you have some success?" Chen rolled his eyes. All these treasures added up, equivalent to half a year of income for the Yi family. How could he be willing to give them up? Later, Chen left the Panlong Mountains and rushed to Tingfeng Tower overnight. The Tingfeng Tower branch of Qinghua is located in Wancheng. These 10,000 cities have also become the busiest city in Qinghua due to the Tingfeng Tower. Even late at night, the city is still brightly lit. Tingfeng Tower is located in the center of Wancheng, with 5 floors and a bustling crowd. Chen rode his horse all the way to the front of Tingfeng Tower. 2 beautiful women stood inside the door, instinctively curling their mouths when they saw Chen covered in blood. Dressed up like this, they are usually adventurers who have just returned from hunting monsters and don't have much money in hand. Unfortunately, they have a lot of nonsense and are not satisfied with choosing something, making it difficult to receive them. I want a bone-shaping pill. Chen is not verbose, just get to the point. Plastic bone pill. The woman was taken aback and quickly said, "Well, this is not something I can decide. I'll go call the steward." The transaction of Lingpin pills is not something they can involve. Quickly, an old man walked out. He reached out to stroke his white beard and chuckled, "Excuse me, but are you from the Yi family?" Chen nodded and said, "Not bad. Earlier, you said you could exchange the centennial treasure medicine for the bone-shaping pill, shouldn't it count? Brother Yi, please come inside." The old man brought Chen to an elegant room. Just as I sat down, a woman immediately came in to brew tea. "My name is Huayuan, and I am the helmsman of the Wind Tower branch." The old man picked up his teacup and took a sip. His gaze was scrutinizing Chen up and down. "Chen. The royal family has repeatedly ordered that they will never sell you the Yi family's bone-shaping pill, but our Tingfeng Tower is not under their jurisdiction. As long as you can bring out a century-old treasure medicine, I will sell this bone-shaping pill to you. Hua Yuan took out a porcelain bottle from the ring and placed it on the table. Yi Chen looked sincere and said, I have indeed brought a century-old treasure medicine, but the situation is somewhat special. I still need to ask Captain Hua to take a look at it. As he spoke, he took out a precious medicine from the ring. This. After seeing it, Hua Yuan was stunned for a moment. He picked up the treasure medicine and carefully observed it for a while. This is a purple heart orchid, probably around 110 years old, but this medicine has been corroded by stomach acid and smells strong. Is this what you took out of the monster's belly? Yi Chen nodded and said, Go one step late, this precious medicine has been swallowed by that beast. As far as I know, there is a purple heart orchid in the Panlong Mountains, and the monster guarding it is a giant ape from the heavenly spirit realm. How could you kill it? A hint of surprise flashed in Huayuan's eyes. He has heard of some things about the Panlong Mountains. That giant ape is very difficult to deal with. I heard that all 4 major families have had plans for that purple heart orchid, but none of them were able to win it over. Not bad. Yi Chen nodded, there was nothing to hide. Hua Yuan was surprised. How old is Yi Chen in front of him? I'm only 16 years old, right? With the strength of the human spirit realm, it is truly terrifying to be able to slay the giant ape. Isn't it a rumor that he was deposed? It doesn't look like it's even a bit abandoned now. Your purple heart orchid, in terms of its age value, does indeed exceed that of the bone sculpting pill by a considerable amount. Unfortunately, it has been corroded by stomach acid and needs some treatment before it can be sold. Moreover, its efficacy is not complete. According to the rules, I cannot give the bone sculpting pill to you, but... Hua Yuan pondered for a moment, seeming to be pondering his words. We heard that Feng Lu is willing to make friends with Yi Xiaoga. You can take the bone-shaping pill and also send 3 portions of gathering spirit liquid. If you have any needs in the future, you can come to me for a 10% discount. Yi Chen was somewhat surprised, but still nodded and said, So, thank you very much, Captain Hua. After completing the transaction, Yi Chen bid farewell and rode away. Are you trying to win him over? In the elegant room, a young girl walked in. Hua Yuan immediately lowered his head respectfully and said, Miss, Yi Chen has an extraordinary aura. Although he is only in the realm of human spirit, the aura hidden in his body is very terrifying, condensed but not emitted, very deep. It doesn't seem like his blood has been taken away at all. Moreover, judging from his rich blood, I think he should. The girl became impatient and said, Are you trying to say that there must be an adventure on him? She is only 17 or 18 years old, but her every move exudes a high and noble posture. Hua Yuan looked frightened and quickly explained, Exactly, and besides, he can kill the giant ape in the heavenly spirit realm. Remember the purpose of the family's appointment of you as the helmsman in Qinghua. Don't give me any advice here, attract some useless waste, and spread it out. Others will wonder why even cats and dogs can serve me, Wan Hongyu. The girl's voice was cold and devoid of any emotion. The old slave is in fear. Hua Yuan quickly knelt down on the ground, trembling. Remember, it doesn't matter whether Yi Chen is a waste or not. In the past, he had spiritual veins and may still be qualified to be Mrs. Dog, but now he has no value. Besides, he has a mortal grudge against Su Aoxue. Su Aoxue has found a good man, and I don't want to be enemies with Yi Chen just because of him. It's not worth it, understand? After finishing these words, Wan Hongyu left with a proud expression. I never even saw Yi Chen in my eyes. I understand. Hua Yuan slowly climbed up from the ground and let out a deep sigh. Chapter 9. Persist in my Kendo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Yi Chen arrived at Cloud City, the east had already shown a white fish belly. Dressed in the morning light, Chen returned to his family in a dusty manner. He is full of qi and blood, full of energy, and his heart beats extremely slowly and forcefully. In terms of physique alone, it definitely surpasses all powerful beings in spiritual realm. Even if I haven't slept all night, I don't feel tired at all. Take me to meet Big Brother. Chen handed the reins to the servants and walked quickly into the family. His eyes flickered with excitement. With this bone-shaping pill, Big Brother will definitely be able to restore his peak. In the room, Yi Meng is drinking congee, and his eyes are wandering. Big Brother, I'm back. Chen pushed open the door with an excited expression and said, I bought the bone-shaping pill from Tingfeng Tower. Your legs are saved. Yi Meng was taken aback and thought he had heard the wrong thing. Chen, what are you saying? This is the bone-shaping pill. Chen took out a porcelain bottle, poured out a black pill from inside, and handed it to Yi Meng. Chen, this. Is this what you exchanged for with a century-old treasure medicine? Yi Meng's hands trembled slightly, and his emotions became increasingly complex. In an instant, there was an impulse to cry. Big Brother, you have suffered a lot due to my legs being disabled. No matter what price you pay, I will make you stand up again. If not, I'll just wipe my neck off it. Chen said as he put down another bottle of Ju-Ling liquid. There is also a bottle of Ju-Ling liquid here that can help Big Brother better control spiritual energy. After your legs recover, remember to take it. Chener, you. In front of the door, Yi Chongshan stood there with a shocked expression. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Breaking into the depths of the Panlong Mountains and facing the demons and beasts in the heavenly spirit realm, it was so dangerous, but Chen still went without hesitation. In the end, he took the century-old treasure medicine and went to Tingfeng Tower to exchange for the bone-shaping pill. It may seem easy, but only he himself knows the hardships involved. Uncle, I, Chen, am not a heartless person. My family has given me a lot of resources over the years, and now it's time for me to repay my family. Chen looked serious, pausing every word. After bidding farewell to the two, Chen returned to his room and entered the cauldron to prepare for cultivation. Clan competition is approaching, and he wants to take advantage of the last moment to sharpen his sword spirit. Chen took out all the lower-grade spirit stones from the ring, and roughly estimated that there should be over 40. Then, start eating. Bang bang. One after another, he threw inferior spirit stones into his mouth and chewed them hard. At the same time, the imperial meridian runs wildly, completely integrating the rich spiritual energy into the meridians and flesh and blood. Half an hour later, he ate up more than 40 inferior spirit stones. Chen touched his stomach and belched heavily. The spiritual energy around the body constantly ripples like water waves, as if it is about to spread out. Strike while the iron is hot. Chen stood up and drew out his broken sword. Senior, there's no point in abusing those black shadows. Can you let me practice with a real sword? Humph. The woman snorted coldly, since you are so confident, I will fulfill your wish. In the next moment, a transparent light and shadow appeared in the void. Light and shadow held a sharp lightsaber and stood 10 meters in front of Chen. With every move and gesture, there was an indescribable calm and indifference. This is the light and shadow left by a sword emperor. It has a swordsmanship level of 70% during the peak period of the sword emperor. Now, I have suppressed its strength and swordsmanship realm to the same level as you. Go and try it out. As soon as the woman finished speaking, the light and shadow lifted their lightsaber. In the blink of an eye, the sword had already been drawn. Feeling the opponent's extremely sharp sword energy, Chen's expression suddenly became heavy. He grabbed the broken sword and wanted to resist. However, the opponent's speed was too fast, incredibly fierce, fleeting and fleeting. Shoo, shoo, shoo. In just one breath, Yi Chen was struck with 7 swords. Each sword pierces deeply into the muscles. If it weren't for the strong bloodline of the wild ancestral dragon, it would have been pierced through long ago. It's too slow. With your speed, you're only a target. The woman's voice was indifferent. You are the Emperor's pulse, Emperor's body, and also the owner of the heaven and earth creation cauldron. Don't insult these names. Yi Chen gritted his teeth and swung his broken sword desperately. Boom. Yi Chen triggered the sword intent he had comprehended and used it as a resistance, but the actual situation did not improve. The woman sneered, "He is in the realm of human spirit, and the realm of swordsmanship is also the same as yours. Why don't you even have the strength to fight back? It's not that he's too strong, it's that you're too useless. The path of swordsmanship you're going on is already extremely absurd. Now, turn around, straighten things out, and go on the path that our predecessors have walked. There's still time. Shut up." A flash of anger flashed through Yi Chen's pupils. "This is my swordsmanship, this is my perseverance." Then, Yi Chen's body erupted like a raging dragon, and he swung his broken sword forward to strike. Bang! Like a landslide, the light and shadow were shaken back by this tremendous force. And this also gave Yi Chen a chance to catch his breath. After taking a sigh of relief, he took the initiative to attack and face the Sword Emperor's light and shadow. The swordsmanship of the Sword Emperor's light and shadow is too cunning and fierce. If you keep defending, you won't be able to keep up with the opponent's speed, and your injuries will only worsen. You will always be beaten with your head down, and there is absolutely no possibility of a comeback. It's better to take the initiative on your own. The woman was surprised, obviously not expecting Yi Chen's thinking to change so quickly. Yi Chen possesses all the qualities to become a sword cultivator. However, he came into contact with the field of swordsmanship too late. Even though the countless star-shaped sword bodies have shaken the past and present, he still needs to put in a lot of effort to become a powerful sword cultivator. This is also the purpose of letting Yi Chen practice. Boom! Yi Chen's swordsmanship is completely lifeless, like a fierce dragon's charge. Every time the broken sword is cut out, it condenses a heavy force. Or take a photo. Or swing. Or collide. Just no thorns. Sword Emperor's light and shadow surround his body, with thousands of sword lights surging. In the midst of lightning and fire, it stabbed Yi Chen's abdomen with a sword, but Yi Chen raised his sword with his backhand and knocked it away. It has a height that surpasses swordsmanship, and it can hardly perform much, making it extremely uncomfortable to be suppressed. With his physical advantage and his deadly swordsmanship, Yi Chen turned the tables and slowly gained the upper hand. Every time Yi Chen swung his sword, he could feel that the absorbed spiritual energy was constantly being refined. This feeling made him feel comfortable all over, and he couldn't help but roar out loud. The fighting spirit surged and became even more fierce. 3 hours later. Bang! The Sword Emperor's light and shadow were once again drawn out. This time, after convulsing on the ground a few times, it couldn't get up at all. I guess I won, right? Yi Chen was covered in blood and at least received 110 swords. Fortunately, he had strong blood and the powerful recovery ability brought by the divine pulse, which enabled him to persevere. Around him, a rich and murderous atmosphere spread like waves of water. At this point, he has completely stabilized the realm of sword cultivation. 3 days into the realm of sword cultivation, it barely makes sense. The woman seems to have a tough mouth, but in fact, she is extremely surprised by Yi Chen's cultivation speed in her heart. Looking back at ancient and modern times, which sword cultivation method only takes 3 days from grasping the sword to comprehending its meaning. The imperial pulse and body are truly extraordinary. Chapter 10. Despicable Servant, How Dare You Point and Point. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fong family, inside the conference hall. Fong Yan, you should be aware that compared to Chen Hui and He Shenghuan, it is obvious that you are more favored by His Highness. You are patient enough and ruthless enough, which is also why His Highness gave you 2 spiritual pills. A beautifully dressed woman was sitting proudly there. She is the maid beside Su Aoxue, named Qiushi. Originally, Su Aoxue had a low status on Autumn Eve, but since she entered the Tianquan sect, she has followed the rising tide and even measured her extraordinary talent. She joined the Tianquan sect together and became a disciple. In front of Qiushi, there stands a robust young man. He is Fang Yan, Fang Luo's younger brother. He is also the crown prince of the Fang family and the first genius. Let's see the glow shining all over him, with a faint howling sound. Surprisingly, he has broken through to the realm of earthly spirits. Qiushi sister, what does your highness mean? Did you ask me to kill Yi Chen in the race competition? Fang Yan took a deep breath and could see the excitement and anticipation in his eyes. It's just a waste, your highness. I'm afraid he forgot about this person long ago, right? Qiushi sneered, the reason why I am giving you pills is to make you more ruthless. After this clan competition, your highness does not want to see the Yi family or any of their descendants survive. I understand. In Fang Yan's eyes, an excited expression flashed. If Yi Chen wants to die, he must also die. Although his highness has never said so, as a servant, how can he not help his master solve problems? As Qiushi spoke, he took out a shining sword from his ring and said, have you seen this sword? It is a spiritual artifact that you can use in clan competitions to slay all the descendants of the Yi family, especially Yi Chen. After the task is completed, His Highness will give you a name to enter the Tianquan sect. Ding, don't disappoint your highness's expectations. Fang Yan held the hilt of his sword, his excited voice trembling. If one could enter the Tianquan sect as a result, the Fang family would surely rise with it. The highly anticipated clan competition has finally begun. Duanshan Cliff, the intersection of the 4 major family territories, is already surrounded by a sea of people in front of the vast open space. Not only are the children of the 4 major families crowded, but there are also many cultivators from Qinghua who want to see the excitement. Crowds of people move, at least 10,000 people. As the 4 most prominent families in Qinghua, each of their clan competitions is equivalent to a grand event. Everyone wants to take this opportunity to come and observe the battle of genius. The Yi family has won the championship 3 times in a row, and I don't know who will be the winner this time. Yi Chen has become a useless person, who else can stand up in the Yi family? This time, I'm afraid the Fang family will be completely proud. Numerous cultivators gathered together, chatting and laughing. In front of the cliff, there is a high platform. Yi Chongshan, Fang Yuan, Chen Wanlong, He Hu. They are the 4 heads of the 4 major families, sitting on a high platform at this moment. Yi Chongshan, how dare you kill my son Fang Luo? This time in the clan competition, our Fang family will definitely kill all the descendants of your Yi family, leaving no one behind. In Fang Yuan's pupils, there was a glint of towering anger. 3 days ago, after receiving news of Fang Luo's death, he wished he could kill the Yi family. Finally, prioritizing the overall situation, I temporarily held back this breath. Nowadays, looking at the Yi family, only Yi Chongshan has this ability, so he naturally thinks that it is Yi Chongshan's hands. Yi Chongshan sneered, Fang Luo is arrogant and domineering. He came knocking on my door, really treating my Yi family like a soft persimmon. Don't even say it's him, even if it's your Fang Yuan who came to clamor, he will definitely die. What a arrogance! Chen Wanlong and He Hu looked at each other with a cold expression. In the past, under the leadership of Yi Chen, the Yi family had a vague intention of being the leader of the 4 major families. Nowadays, both Yi Chen and Yi Meng have been abandoned, and the Yi family is just a paper tiger. Moreover, the crown princes of the Chen, He, and Fang families were all rewarded with elixirs by the eldest princess, which not only surpassed the realm of human spirit, but also greatly increased their combat power. The three major families teamed up to encircle and kill, why not destroy the Yi family? Yi Chen stood there quietly, carrying a broken sword behind him with an indifferent expression. Under the seemingly calm face, there is a hidden murderous intent. Yi Chen, how dare you even participate in the race competition? Chen Hui, the crown prince of the Chen family, walked over with a sneer and said, "Brave and fearless, brave and admirable. Half a year ago, I slapped 2 teeth out of you, and now you're still speaking poorly. I don't know where you got the courage to mock me. If you're not satisfied, I can slap you again to ensure symmetry." Yi Chen glanced at Chen Hui and said lightly, "Tonight is different from the past. When it comes to the race competition, I will make you kneel down and beg for mercy." Chen Hui's gaze was fierce, and Yi Chen's words made it impossible for him to refute. A dying person, why so much nonsense? Yi Chen's expression was calm and composed. His reaction shocked everyone present. "You are no longer the genius of the past, how dare you provoke Chen Hui so arrogantly? Who knows in Qinghua that Chen Hui broke through to the realm of human spirit 3 days ago? When Yi Chen reached his peak, he was only 10 times quenched. Yi Chen, your life is mine." Fong Yan, the crown prince of the Fong family, looked proud and said, "In the first round, I cannot kill you. When the second round of the arena battle comes, I will make you die without a whole body." Seeing Fong Yan, Chen Hui and He Xinghuan both showed a look of fear in their eyes. They only received 1 pill as a reward from Su Aoxue, but Fong Yan had 2. So, he broke through to the realm of earthly spirits. There are even rumors that he will be recommended to enter the Tianquan sect after this clan competition, becoming a disciple of the sect and a superior person. The Fong family will definitely be the first family in Qinghua in the future. Since all the children of all ethnic groups have arrived, I declare. Yi Chongshan's voice was full of vitality. Zubi's judges rotate every year, and it happens to be his turn this year. However, before Yi Chongshan could finish speaking, only Qiushi walked out. She looked aloof and proud. "Your Highness is very pleased that so many geniuses have emerged from the 4 major families, so he has sent me to be the judge of this clan competition. Among them, the most outstanding person can receive your Highness's gift and enter the Tianquan sect for cultivation." This sentence startled the whole audience. Ranked first in terms of race, surprisingly able to obtain a spot in the Tianquan sect. She's not the one next to Princess Chang. You want to die, Miss Qiu is now a disciple of the Tianquan sect. Be careful when you speak. Yes, it's Miss Qiu. Everyone was whispering, but their eyes were filled with envy. After saying these words, Qiushi turned his gaze to Yi Chen. Her voice was extremely cold. "Yi Chen, as a lowly person like you who has committed heinous crimes and been deprived of fame, you are not qualified to participate in the clan competition. However, your Highness is generous and allows you to participate. This is your blessing. Kneel down quickly and be grateful." The whole scene was in an uproar, with all eyes fixed on Yi Chen, wanting to see how he would respond. A lowly maid with a face in front of me, pointing and pointing. Yi Chen suddenly drank heavily.